Hello, Galactic Travelers. It's Cosmic Krista here with the 711. Okay, check it out. So this is like home of the blooper reel that I've done these videos today. They'll be a really good one. But I've started and stopped like so many videos with so many ideas because there's so much information to share. And I stopped this one and I've got to start it up again because it was important. And it's about our bodies, and it's about our health, and it's about how this new energy that we're living in Christ consciousness, the new frequencies of light that have hit our planet because of the area in the galaxy that our solar system is moving in, right about meow. So you're hearing these words shift, and you're hearing these words ascension, and you're hearing these words awakening, and you're hearing these words timelines, and you're hearing these words multidimensionality, and you're like, what the heck is going on? Right? Because that's how I was. And all of this information didn't just happen upon me at once like it might be happening with you, because going personally for me, especially in the beginning when I had a Kundalini Awakening, which is an activation that was triggered within your DNA, the 95% that currently scientists call junk DNA. Well, that 95% of junk DNA is by far junk. Only 5% of our human DNA makes up our hair and our eyes and our personality, and the rest of this junk DNA lies dormant, or it has lied dormant in humanity because of the frequency that quite literally our world was set at. So this takes me back to the Egyptians and the Egyptians' teachers, which were Zep-Tepi, the Mayans, our ancient ancestors. The things they did, the things they built. And yeah, they had some issues in their civilizations. Things weren't perfect, you know. Egypt had a hierarchy, and that's something we don't want to repeat in this lifetime. However, you learn and we grow from those situations. So what we can't do is be fearful, because we should be fearful of the world we live in now, the 3D world, because we still have rulers. But we're not even quite sure who they are or what they are. So let me get back to your body, because what's happening, and we can get more specific later on about the Galactic Center and the rewrite of the Matrix, right? But right now, let's keep it within our bone and blood. What's happening to us, because a lot of the things that people are experiencing are these ascension symptoms. It's not just the negative bloodlines. It's not just the double simians. It's not just the people who meditate 24 hours a day that are going through the awakening and the ascension right now. It's every human being on the planet. So when we move into this galactic ascent, our solar system moved into a new area. It moved into a photon belt where there was more radiation. And that's where we are now. But it's not radiation in a bad way. What it is the frequencies and pure light that is breaking up density. So this is where we start talking about dark and light. And I don't want to get off on that subject, right? Because it's a whole completely other 10 videos. Especially because I'm a Libra. So I have lots to talk about when it comes to balance. The planet is moving in this different area. And so these frequencies are hitting our physical being. They're hitting our physical being because as humans, we are one with the earth. This is what we have been taught to forget. And this is what we must understand, that our bodies are part of Mother Earth. They're part of nature. We are all one because we're all energetic energy beings. So our physical bodies here on Earth that house our soul, that reincarnates in this lifetime. And if you're watching this channel, you reincarnated in this lifetime to help with this shift. If you're watching this channel right now on December 30th, 2017, I can promise you that your plan was to watch this video. If you're having sore throat, if you're getting dizzy, if you're falling down, if you're having really hard time concentrating, if your ears are ringing, they're popping, your ear is a great way to understand the energy, right? There's nothing wrong with your ears. There might be, but for most of us, this humming that we're hearing or this crackling like I hear now, these are frequencies that are coming in. And when these frequencies come in, they hit our whole physical being. And when you have a dense, what's dense? You know, density goes to the bottom. Density is, you know, darker, thicker matter, if you want to say it like that, right? And whenever the light comes in to our physical beings, what this higher frequency, what this higher light intensive, energy intensive waves that hit us are making our bodies lose some of their density. Now, what in our body is dense? At first, what is dense in our body, for the most part, are emotions. There are human emotions from our human experiences, and they're very real. Y'all saw my first videos. I haven't always been this calm and collected. We know this for a fact. Hoot hoot. Because it's a process. And when these energies hit us and we make a conscious decision to ascend, whatever that means. Because in the beginning, we really can't individually understand what this process will be because everyone is different. Everyone's awakening experience is different because that DNA, that 95% junk DNA is very, very specific to each and every one of us. So we learn different things. We see different things when we read the same thing. We hear different things whenever people are talking to you, like me right now. Because those are the messages we're supposed to hear in order to get going on this journey. So right now, if you're tired, if you have, I personally can't do everything that I used to do in a day anymore. Number one, time is sped up because we all see it. And so it's because of the energies that are hitting the planet. And it's because of these dimensional shifts that are happening right now. 3D is your lower, denser energy. That's what we've been living in. That's all we had to work with. Because our televisions were set at a certain frequency. The images that we saw from that television were fed to us for a reason. To produce fear. To produce hate. For us to go to war with each other. And they're very malicious reasons. But it really doesn't even matter. Because what these beings that tried to set our frequencies so low have been able to do up until right about meow is control this frequency. But they can no longer control it because of where we are in the solar system. So why am I saying this? And I'm kind of jumping all over the place because there's so many facets to this conversation. And what I want to say right now, before I go any further, is that you absolutely can heal yourself. There is no need for the medications that you're taking. Your belief in the fact that they work and they help is why they work and why they help. And this is a new dimensional, a new energy concept that we're just understanding. It's important to know that because I've seen so many people start this process of this awakening journey and then they get hung up in the process. There's something that scares them because it is scary. You go through these periods in the beginning where you're not really sure if it's right or wrong and if it's, in our old 3D mind, is it evil or is it holy? Well, what we soon learn is that there is no real evil. There is no real holy. There is only balance of the light and the dark. And there's only balance between our brains and our heart. And these frequencies that are hitting our bodies awaken these past emotions because they have to be released in order for us to continue down our path. And so most of us love to have the conversations. We love to talk about our powers. We love to talk about manifestation. We love to talk about we're here to help and we're earth angels, right? But when we get to that point where something startles us a little bit, then we stop and we don't continue and we don't allow our heart and our emotions to flow so that they can be released. Because why? Because we're too busy, because we got the kids, because we've got work, because we've got to do this, because we've got to make the house payment, because if we don't make the house payment, then we're going to be homeless. And if we're do you hear me? Do you see? this is how they've been controlling us. This is what this shift, this is why you're going through this little blip of what we call time. I mean, not even a whole second in the reality that we're living with these emotional things that are coming up. You're going to cry for no reason. You're going to tear up at the funniest things. And then you're going to have situations where this fear that has come over you, that has stopped your awakening process, is going to keep coming back to you over and over in your reality through different people and through different situations until you can get past it. So these emotions that you're feeling whenever you have them, you have to have them. You have to have them. Men, you have to have them. This is the balance that's returning to the planet. Now, on top of these emotional charges that you'll have and that you have to release, that, by the way, get shorter and shorter every time you have them, and surrender to them and just feel the emotion, feel the anger. And there's some really cool, I'm calling multidimensionality XD, right? Because that's a long word. But when we get closer to, understanding a little bit more about that, there's some tricks to dealing with this stuff that we can utilize that not just me, but many others have utilized, right? But right now, I just want to talk about these emotions, why they must be released. They must be released so that the frequency in your body can raise because you're lighter. You've let go of those emotions. And then how do you let go of those emotions, but then you still had them? Something still created that emotion in you. So you're thinking, okay, Christy, if I get rid of these emotions, but there's a reason I felt like that. I'm adopted and I didn't never know my parents or whatever. My husband cheated on me, whatever. And this is where this galactic conversation comes in. Because if you don't have a galactic cosmic perception on why those things happen to begin with, it's really damn hard to get over them. I mean, I can cry and be upset about what it is I'm upset about every day for the rest of my life. Isn't that what we're doing right now? Because we focus on those things because that's what we've been taught that a good person in society is supposed to do. So here's what we have to do. We have to spend more time understanding why these things are happening to us, not get stuck in the crystals and the past new age esoteric community where they stopped. Because trust me, I have so much gratitude. I have so much gratitude for that community. Because that community is what helped ground this. And we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. None of us would even be here if it wouldn't have been for this community. However, these new frequencies that are coming in, and the new star seeds, and the ancient star seeds that have been activated now on this planet are bringing in a lot more information from the future, from the ancient future past, as Maru would say. We are the crystal. Our bodies are crystals. We're receivers. We're batteries, if you will. And if our battery is corroded, then it doesn't work too well. You got to get out the jumper cables. What, pour Coke on it? So on top of those emotional things that you're going through, release them. And then, why did that experience happen? Why was I adopted? Why did my boyfriend cheat on me, or my husband, or whatever it was, right? And when you understand that our souls came here to this planet with a plan, and that plan is written in the stars and the planets and astrology, down to the minute and the latitude and longitude of the place that we were born. And we look at the hands on the lines on our hands with palmistry. This is a map. Now these maps can change. I've seen them. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, we have these maps. We have maps that we drew ourselves in our names with the numerology, with the energy that's in each one. Because in this new quantum realm, in the new energy that we prayed, that we reincarnated over and over and over and over and over again to remember, is all happening right now on Earth. So when we understand that, and when we understand that our soul set up this plan, then we have to understand that our soul knew us better than us in this body, in this flesh suit, because all I have is one perception of me. And it's only the one that I've lived in this life. Kind of. Because that 95% of our DNA, as our bodies release these emotions and as our bodies are able to hold more light, then that 95% junk DNA starts to activate. And when our starseed clusters that are part of the reason we're here, because our souls came from one of the 250 star clusters that make up the Galactic Federation of Light. When that DNA gets activated from these star systems with specific planetary alignments, because as starseeds, which every human on this planet is of some sort, some of us just have more lineage. Some of us have just reincarnated more times, but we're all the same. And we're all going through this. So when we put the boyfriend cheating, when we put the adoption in our life plan, when our soul families agreed to be the one that we hate in this lifetime, we understand that those experiences were here to teach us something. They weren't here to hurt us. Even though in this physical body, with these emotions, which is what makes us human, which is why we want to come here, which is why this planet is such a beautiful place of free will and nature, because we're connected to it. We have to realize that each situation that we think is unbearable, or each loss that we have that is catastrophic, you have to ask yourself, why would I do that to myself? Why would my soul have that experience happen? And if you really start thinking about your part in every situation, then you see it real clear. Well, I was adopted because that's the family that I chose to live with and to raise me. Whatever soul contracts we had with my adopted parents or my birth parents, that's why that happened. It's not because somebody gave me up. In fact, my story gets pretty deep. My birth father, I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to share a lot of life stories with you because we've all been through a ton of shit. However, that shit is not going to define me because that's exactly how we kept sedated and suppressed for the past 300,000 years. So these galactic cosmic perceptions, it's how you get through it. It's how you bring everything back to love. Now, I have so much love for my birth father. I have so much love for my birth mother. I have so much love for the entire situation. I hold no regret. I hold no remorse. None whatsoever. Because the people that I judged and that affected me so negatively, because I allowed it to, because society told me that they were bad, or you're different, or whatever. Listen to your body, because your body is changing to hold more light. We'll do a video talking about some ways to help. I highly suggest taking magnesium every day. You will want to change your diet. You won't even have to do any of this. You'll just start wanting to. And your body, your lineage, you'll start wanting food that you've never really eaten or tried before. You will remember things that you never thought you could. And it goes millions of years past genealogy, ancestry.com, whatever. It's what you're searching for. So I hope that helped a little. I'm going to keep on this topic. If you have any topics you want to talk about, send them to me. Because I guarantee you, they're like on my list here of topics to talk about. All right? And I'll get those and squeeze those in first. I want to thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to share this information with you. And I'm so grateful to be allowed the time every day in order to continue this path, in order to share this information with you. So, can I get a hoot hoot? Just a little recap. Your bodies are going through a change. Our minds are going through a change because they're being enlightened. We're seeing things from a whole new perception. And I can promise you that the life that I've just started living in the past 4 or 5 days is the most amazing, beautiful place to be when I can stay there, right? Because I'm still jumping in and out of 3D to 5D, and I just did a video on that. But it's possible. And sometimes in the beginning to get through a hurdle, you don't even want to believe and trust that you know what's right sometimes. And so if this is something that's happening with you, can you believe that I believe it happened? We'll be talking a whole lot more about everything. I'm going to peace out for now. Thank you guys. Stay warm. It's crazy, crazy, crazy cold out there. Even in Tejas. Mwah. Can I get a hoot hoot? And my galactic travelers, I love you so much. We will talk soon, and